from Chicago.
Coming at you from Chicago. It is Sonia and Sabrina.
Saturday.
Your spiritual besties, your best friends.
So we've had such an incredible, crazy week. Sabrina arrived here one week ago.
Right.
And it's just been like such a journey. It's been amazing. So our book was launched on Tuesday. And it has been absolutely incredible. I think
the word I would use is like humbling.
Yeah.
Like I feel totally humbled by this amazing, incredible experience. And I'm just like so happy. We've gotten so like many amazing messages already. Just like people messaging us saying like, I found your book in Toronto at like a little tiny bookstore and it changed my life already. And it's exactly what I needed. And I'm just like weeping as I'm reading this. I'm like, really? Thank you. Like I'm so moved that that it's happening and that the little baby is being so healing. It's humbling.
And it's crazy because, as I'm sure you've heard me say in a million different live videos, it's been such a long project, and now that she's like finally out, I'm having to realize that people are actually gonna like read the book.
I know, that's the part I don't think either of us really thought about, was that like at some point Book Baby would be doing her thing on the planet on her own.
And it's interesting to come to this place of just being open and somewhat like vulnerable, because this is been such a work of
love.
Yeah.
But like totally putting yourself out there, right?
Yeah. And starting new, different projects. And even just having this place of this expectation of like what I thought everything would be like versus sort of reality has been super interesting for me. And even just this past week, I've really had to I've sort of been on this emotional roller coaster because there was and
Choquettes, we are emotional. we are emotional.
We feel
Choquette women feel stuff in our insides, and they come out sometimes in different ways, in the tears and the yells. We channel that energy.
Yeah, we've run the gamut, and just in the sense of like putting it out there and really having to remind myself to just enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten so caught up in all these like business facets of it. I'm like, oh, you need to do this or write this or be here. And it's such a different part of my brain.
Right.
And it's such an intellectual sort of counter to the work and the heart and the spirit of what we're doing.
Yeah.
That I just really have to remember to get back into my body, back into the experience, and really enjoy the process.
I think that anytime, we put ourselves out there in a way, whether it's we create art or in our businesses or our families, when we're being asked to be vulnerable and like open up and share something, it's scary. Totally. It is. Even if what you're doing is amazing and you're confident in it and your intuition's on point, you're feeling good about it, like there might be a part of you or a little part of you, I know for me and for Sonia, that it's like that little part of you that just kind of holds back a bit in fear. And I think that it can be such a gateway and a teacher, if we let it be, to learn to trust and be more open, and also really allow ourselves to be a bit scared. I think that's sort of been the theme for Sonia and I this week, is like, this is a lot and really amazing, and it's all of it. It's like exciting, it's wonderful, it's humbling, it's overwhelming, and it's sort of also scary, and it can be all of that and be good. Like we don't have to judge any part of it as bad, but just sort of like let it be all of it.
Yeah, and then we can trust ourselves to hold the whole experience. And it was funny because, and Sabrina and I were talking about when we get super in our intellect and super disconnected, for me, it was like my intellect was sort of masking that part of me that wanted to be that was vulnerable. Hi, guys. I was like wanting to be vulnerable. And what happened was then I just like went into overdrive as a way to try and like control and try and like find some sort of ground in this like whole new experience.
Totally.
And it's been a really good teacher, but I think the most humbling and beautiful and incredible experience has been like all of my friends and family and people and all of like the support that I've been getting. The amount of my like just people that I love.
Friends. Yeah, showing up and like sending amazing messages, being like, I read the book, I love it. We're like It really just means honestly the world to us.
It's so beautiful. Like just people tagging us in like their little Instagram posts.
Yes,
and
please
all
tag us in your Instagram posts and your Facebook posts, and like tag our book right now. Our hashtag is #YouAreAmazingBook.
And it's funny because Sabrina has been here all week, so anytime like anything pops up, I'll be like, oh, look at this.
Yeah, we're like, oh my god, it's like we geek out over. We're like, oh my god, it's a new picture. Oh my god. So it's super, super exciting.
So
yeah.
Thank you.
So we also wanted to talk a bit about today when Sonia and I were walking to coffee together this morning. I was talking about one of my really beautiful, amazing clients. Who is going through her own sort of emotional awakening right now as she gets back in touch with her intuition. One of the things that's happening is she's also starting to wake up to all these emotions that have sort of been lying dormant or she's been a bit disconnected from. And it can be sort of when we do wake up and get in touch and feel all the things, like we were saying, all of it, the book is all of it. Sometimes some of those emotions or things that we've sort of been avoiding can feel really, really overwhelming. And learning to not judge ourselves as we're going through an emotional awakening is major.
Totally. And, we so come from this culture that really wants us to, like, disconnect. Whether it's, like, on our phones, on the computer, whatever it is. Just the amount of information and input that's coming in all the time really invites us to disconnect. And also, we haven't really come from a culture that really encourages us to be connected.
Right.
That's not like something where it's like, hey, really start to check in with
yourself. So this is like the journey of sort of connecting this part of ourselves to the other part. Like most of us are living sort of like head bubbles walking around, just sort of disconnected from the world and living in our minds and sort of just asleep to our bodies, our emotions, each other. Like I like to walk a lot actually, because for me it's sort of a therapeutic thing. And I was walking the other day and there was all these kids walking down the street, and they all had headphones on talking to each other, and they were like teenagers, and I just thought it was so interesting. Yay,
thank you.
Oh, thank you. I just thought it was so interesting that like in our culture now, it's really normal to be with people and have your headphones on. I was like, what about conversing? What about connecting? What about conversation? What about, relationship? But I think that we've sort of have gotten really used to putting up these barriers and these buffers between real connection, and it's sort of our job to call ourselves out and reconnect.
Yeah, and even in that place, it's like that's where we have to get back in touch with our own vulnerability.
Right.
Because in vulnerability really is where we are available. And so often when we think of vulnerability or being in that place where we're available, it can feel really scary and uncomfortable, because what it does is it invites us to sort of be out of control and ask for other people or the universe or anything to support us.
And to like be open to those things, we have to be vulnerable. You have to be open for something to come in. It's like, if you think about it as a principle, if you're so barriered and shut down and sort of walled off and me and myself, where is there going to be any room for anything to sort of break in or break open or move or shift or my favorite example of this is a lot of the time, I have another client who really wants to manifest a relationship, really wants a love relationship in her life. And she was telling me, she was like, I'm so scared to like go out in the world and meet people and, have new conversations. And I was like, totally. But she was like, but I really want a relationship. And I was like, well, let me just flip this and say, if you're praying and praying and praying to meet somebody, but you won't leave the house, the only way the dude is going to show up is if he like ding dong on your door and is like, hey, I'm here to be the love of your life. And you would call the police. You would be like, I'm out. Like, I gotta go. Like, you'd be like, this is horrible. You know what I mean? Like, if life really worked that way, we would all call the police all the time, because it'd be like, there's a crazy person here telling me he's the love of my life. Like, we have to open up and go out into the world if we're really gonna like manifest things.
I love the metaphor of the police, because I feel like that's almost like our intellect or ego of just like trying to keep us safe. It's like the police.
The police. I gotta call the police.
It's like an overzealous police officer who's like, who is here? What's going on? check this out. You are not safe.
Our intellect
not
is
safe.
the police officer. Sonia all the time is like, tell your inner police officer to like pump the brakes, Sabrina.
You're good.
You're good. You're safe.
Totally
you're fine.
safe.
I'm like, I am.
Yeah, and you know, we aren't, first of all, we're not encouraged to like be a beginner culture. Like, you aren't supposed to be a beginner. You're supposed to like start and do anything and like immediately be an expert at it, because otherwise it'll be like embarrassing. Like, you want to embarrass yourself, because God, that would be just the worst thing in the world. But,
shame.
You know, for like...
Nobody wants to feel shame. I know that for me all the time. I remember the first time I went to boxing class, I passed out on the ring because I was so out of shape. And I got in my car and I had so much shame around being a beginner. I was like, oh my God, I'm so out of shape. I have been boxing now for 3 years. I can kick a grown man ass. I am amazing. Really. Like, I'm an amazing boxer now. But if I had let the shame of being a beginner derail me, that never would have happened.
100%. And, you know, also in that is that we have to learn that it's okay to be uncomfortable, and that it doesn't mean that we're, like, in danger.
Right.
You know, so often we confuse these different experiences, and that even includes like opening ourselves up to our uncomfortable emotions. Sometimes it can really trigger this part of us that gets into like fight or flight, or this like really primal part of us that I will fight you, or I will flee, or I might
both.
freeze.
I might fight you, freeze, and then run away as fast as I can. I've been known to do that. I've been known to take a power walk around the block. Now I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And then I walk around the block. I'm back. Hello. It's me. I'm sorry. I had a meltdown. I'm back.
And, you know, I've just, and even like right now of where we are on the planet, just like the culture and vibration, all the things that are sort of going on.
Everybody's so reactive right now. Like, so, like, everything, it's like one thing happens and it's like, and like Twitter storm, and Instagram storm, and news cycle, and firestorm, and then it's done. And then it's just quiet.
But the thing is in order to really start to connect and like heal ourselves, heal the planet, really start to even like heal the divide in our country, I feel like what we need to do is start to drop in and get underneath that reactivity and start to like connect to people. And I feel like that connection starts with connecting to ourselves.
You know, the other thing I was going to say as you're saying that, which I love, is like it's listening. You know, so often I find that we don't listen to each other. It's like I saw a fight at UPS the other day, and then one guy and the other guy were having a fight, but it was almost like, because I was just standing there waiting with my package, I was listening to them fighting, and I was like, they're actually not even fighting about the same thing. It was like two conversations that were like boop 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 boop, and I was just like, wow, there's so much power in like if we were able to just pause and actually listen to what the other, instead of just being defended like angry, upset, walled energy, if that other guy was able, one of them just stopped and heard what the other one was saying, they would have both realized, like I realized, that they wanted the same thing. And they were both frustrated about the same thing. And it was just like they thought they were on two sides of a fence.
Totally. And I feel like even just wrapping that back around your intuition, I mean, in order to listen to your intuition, in order to create a life that you want, in order to even get guidance, we need to move to listening and away from I know. Because we can get stuck in like, and we are so celebrated for knowing. I feel like, have you ever hung out with somebody, they just like know the answer to every single question, and sometimes you know that they're like, it's total bullshit, and you're like, that's not even a real...
We had one conversation. Our friend is engaged, and there was this one conversation. She was telling us this one woman, she was talking to her about her wedding. Our friend who's engaged was talking to this other woman about her wedding, and the woman, everything she brought up, the women had a response for, and she said, I've never felt so smacked in my face in my entire life. It was like everything was just sort of this need for this woman to validate her own self and her own ego, and really wasn't listening to our friend at all. And I think that there's power in that. For me, I'm like, yeah, sometimes I have to remind myself to like pull in a bit and like listen and be present, but not from a place of like, I just want to come up with the quickest, best answer to this, but really like I have to shift the focus to, I just want to be available and see what comes forward.
Yeah, and when we start to really move to that place of being more available and aware, that's where we can even not only hear each other, but hear our intuition.
Right.
Because we have to create an opening and an actual curiosity to even be available to hear what's going on.
Totally.
Because if not, if we're just in like, I know, we really miss the guidance. We aren't available to the incredible amount of support, because a lot of times with intuition, it's a lot of little no big deal things.
Right.
It's like,
it's a lot of little deals that if you're paying attention and you're looking for them and you're awake, you see them, you can grab it. That's my gut. That's my intuition. This is where I need to go. But if you're so in your head, it's not going to get in there.
Yeah, and I feel like, and it's so amazing with my clients or people who want to create anything, a new job, a relationship, maybe go on an adventure, uproot their, do something even different.
Right.
A lot of times they'll go, I already know the outcome. Like, it's already not gonna work. And that's just their fear, A. And B, it's just this place of coming back to what we were talking about being vulnerable, being available to life, really letting life move through you and sort of moving into this place of just sort of like,
right.
I'm confident.
I think it's sort of like responding, not reacting.
Oof.
You know, it's like learning to respond to life from your centered, grounded, inner connected place, as opposed to just being constant reactivity and feel like life is always 2 steps ahead of you and you're just getting knocked back and trying to like fight your way through. I think that's for me is the biggest difference.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is that we also have to remember is that we're like naturally designed to be intuitive beings. And like Sabrina has said so many times, like, guidance isn't out here.
Yeah.
Like it's like not like the cosmos.
It's
like
here,
coming into
in
here.
your body.
So being connected, being available, getting back into like that.
Your body.
Your
Go
body.
for a walk. Like I said. That's
Go
what I do every day. I go for a walk.
Charging your battery.
I know. Mom said that once on live TV. She was trying to say battery and body at the same time. She was like, you gotta charge your battery. And it was amazing.
Perfect.
I was like,
it's like perfect.
That's literally the word. It's a battery. This is our body. I was in Soul Cycle spin class the other day, and my teacher was saying, you have to take care of your body like you take care of your cell phone.
Oh.
I was like, that's amazing. She was like, your cell phone's always charged.
Mm-hmm.
It's always on. Mm-hmm. Your cell phone, never runs out of battery. It never runs out of storage. If you break it, you take it to get it fixed. I was like, oh my God, that's true. I take such good care of my cell phone. And also, like, if I break my cell phone, I'm like heartbroken.
Or think if you misplace it, like, you use the Find My iPhone app, like, in your own apartment.
Panic. Just panic. So, like, to really shift focus around taking care of ourselves like we taking care of ourselves like we take care of our phones.
Yeah.
With real intention and connected, like, I want to take care of this. Is important to me.
Yeah. And, and even in that place of really just allowing ourselves that support. And that means from people that we love, from the universe, from our own higher self and knowledge. Right. And the great thing about it, like, even this week for me, and I mean, Sabrina and I have gotten so much support on this book. It has been
tremendous,
incredible.
Truly,
we had
humbling.
We had a book party with just like our friends and family, and it took a lot in me to allow a book party. I just felt so. There was just part of me that was really uncomfortable in being in that place, receiving the love and the support. It was not.
When you're the giver, and a lot of people who are attracted to this work are the giver. They're the giving tree types.
Totally.
So the types that will just give and give and give and give and give from they'll just give everything. But when it comes to receiving, it's like no.
It's
no,
okay.
I'm good. Don't give it. No, I'm good.
I don't need it. But really, for me, it was like all of a sudden, we had this room for a party at our lovely friends.
Beautiful bar.
Beautiful. They were so generous. Gave us 4 bottles of champagne. But we were gonna have the party, and then I called off the party. I was like, actually, hey, I don't want to do this. It's fine. I'm just gonna play it small. And then I was like, you know what? We need to do this. I need to be uncomfortable.
I need to be willing to celebrate myself and my sister and my accomplishment. I think that's huge. I think that we do need to, especially as women, love you men as well. Love you men. But I think as women sometimes we tend to focus our energies outwards on our families, on our children, on our partners, and to really learn to come back to our own bodies, come back to our own spirits, come back to our own intuition, come back to just a me, myself, and I feel selfish. Feels like we're being selfish, and it's like you're not.
Yeah.
You're not. Being in your own power and learning to really take care of yourself actually is the most loving thing you can do for everybody in your life.
Totally. And I feel like even for men, a lot of times there's not a culture of asking for support. There's sort of this lone wolf
I
in these 2 different ways, and of really just opening up ourselves that, because I think for me the most beautiful thing that I found was being available to all of that support and love and connection just like opened up my heart and helped really just even allow for more space within myself for availability, and just really reminded myself that we can ask for support and that we need to ask for support and we need to be connected.
Right. So I think this week my challenge to myself is going to be looking for places that I can support myself with more allowance and grace, and take care of myself this week with more just gentle like sensitivity and love instead of like resentment that I need stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh God, I need another. Being like, I really am happy to need this today, or I'm really gonna allow myself to like have a need and take care of it without so much internal conflict and drama.
Yeah, and as you know, I really love that, and I feel like that's something that I'm also gonna practice, because we really need to be able to be more gentle with ourselves.
Yeah.
Because when we open up to that place, that's where all the magic happens.
Yeah.
And that's where all of, like, and really, you know, I think it's a matter of also trusting ourselves, trusting our bodies, trusting that we know what we're doing.
Right.
That we don't have to overthink it.
I just got, like, for me, it's sort of like trusting the goodness of life. Like, trusting in goodness in myself and really looking for the goodness in other people as well.
Yeah.
Like, looking for goodness. Instead of looking for problems, I'm going to look for goodness this week.
Totally.
I'm going to be gentle and I'm going to be loving.
Yeah, because we can really get really trained on, like, what's not working in my life instead of, like, totally what is. But I've sent Sabrina to the airport.
I gotta go. I gotta go get on an airplane now.
So sad.
Which is so sad. I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm so sad.
No, I just want to.
And my sister was like, be here now. And I was like, oh, right.
But I feel like thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Yeah. Every single message, even Julie,
Julie, thank you for your sweet messages.
I mean, I can't
it means the world to us,
tell
really.
you how
grateful.
Absolutely grateful we are for each and every one of you. Thank you for your time, for your energy, for your availability.
For your love and your supportive messages. Tag us in your book posts, please.
You are.
Hashtag us. Hashtag You Are Amazing book. And let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, if you have questions.
Also, if you like it, review it on Amazon.
Yeah, if you are getting good things out of the book and you love it, share it with your friends and review us on Amazon. We would so appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just so we can help spread the message and the good vibes all over the world. We need good vibes.
And we need your bright lights. And if you have any questions or any like, hey, I need help with this or support with this, like leave us a comment or a question or anything, and we will be more than happy to give you practical grounded tools. Hi, Oz. To just like help support you on this wonderful journey, because we're in your corner.
Yay.
We're
okay.
100%.
All of our love
you
hugs.
guys.
You are amazing.
Hey, guess what? You're amazing.
You are.
Like, you're so amazing and like beautiful and smart and intelligent
sweet
and like
and lovely
fun
and kind.
and like such a bright light and a treasure.
Love you.
We love
Love
you.
you.
We really love you.
Okay.
Bye.